Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, your number one source for income-oriented investing, and it's your favorite video. It's finally time for my entire portfolio unveiled, and this is a pretty big one. It's a pretty special one. It's going to include the updates for February and March, so 2 months in one. And just a side note, going forward, I will be unveiling my portfolio near the end of the month instead of near the middle, just so you have the updated information or the updated portfolio in that month. So basically next month's portfolio unveil should be near the end of April, and it's going to include all the updates I've done for April. So let's get started. First, let me show you my total value, which has increased significantly from the past portfolio update. And there's several, as you could see here. So this is the total value of all 6 investing accounts in Canadian dollars. You have it right here, 1.435 million. I am filming this on March the 20th while the stock market's open. I'll just refresh my passive here. You see the numbers change, 1.435. So that is the total value of all my investing accounts together. And of course, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, which is PASSIV, of course, a good friend of the channel. You're looking at it. PASSIV is the portfolio management tool that I personally use. I absolutely love the feature where you could see everything, all your totals in one place. You could organize your portfolios accordingly here. You could, separate them in the main portfolio, retirement accounts. You could do all kinds of cool stuff. You could see all your transactions, your dividends come in, your values. You can make model portfolios. It's absolutely fantastic. So again, I'd like to thank PASSIV for being a sponsor of this video. Don't forget, guys, PASSIV is free. Just a reminder, you could get the community user version here. It's absolutely free. But if you're interested in the elite membership, which is normally $99 a year, and by the way, if you have Questrade, it's free. The elite membership is free. But if you don't have Questrade and you want to try it out, I do have a code or an affiliate link where you can get 50% off the elite membership. Just go to any one of my videos here. If you go to the video description, just open it up here. And if you, here it is right here. This is the PASSIV affiliate here. You click on this link, and that is my code. You'll get 50% off the elite membership if you don't have Questrade. If you have Questrade, it's absolutely free. I have Questrade and I absolutely love it. So as usual, everyone, let's break it down. The value, we'll start with the retirement account, which is my RSP, my wife's RSP, and my small Alira account. And then we will go look at the main portfolio, which is absolutely huge, massive updates this month, which is a combination of our 2 TFSA accounts and our joint cash account. And from the total here, the 1.435 million, about 61% is the main portfolio of that, and about 40%, 39% is the retirement account. So as usual, we'll do the retirement accounts first. So we're gonna look at the breakdown in Excel. The retirement accounts are very, very simple. I simplified it throughout the years, and we will look at the let's look at the accounts one by one. So first of all, my RSP, so the value did jump about $8,000 from last month. You see, every month I'll be tracking the value, so it'll be fun for us to go, even for me, to see how the RSPs are doing. So yeah, 258. So where did I get that number, by the way? Well, it's in PASSIV. If you just go to Adrian's RSP here, if I just click on that, you see that the total value Canadian is almost 259, right? It's 258 here. Hopefully you could see everything, and my little picture at the bottom right is not blocking anything. But really the important thing we want to look at, and you know what, let me just, you know how I look like, let me just take off my picture here. There we go. Hopefully now you can see the whole screen and there's no issue. So QQQY is my primary or core position, and just like it says here, I invested a total, how much money I put in myself, 120,000, and now the investment is worth 131,000, or a little bit over that, USD. So that is really what we're going to be tracking, or the main part of the RSP, of my RSP. And don't forget, everything is on drip, right? So every single holding here, guys, it's on drip. All I do is update the number of shares. And of course, every month, every portfolio unveil, there's going to be an updated, there's going to be more shares every single month. So QQQY, my 120,000 USD investment is now with $131,500, so it's going absolutely fine. And then you have the SFOL and the Maxi. So what really helped in my RSP was definitely Maxi, which is a Bitcoin income ETF. So obviously Bitcoin has exploded. It's going down a little bit now. There's definitely a lot of volatility with that. And I'm also anticipating maybe, hopefully, I hope, a distribution increase for Maxi. We'll see what happens. But the increase of Maxi definitely helped my RSP really go up a lot from the last portfolio unveil. So here you have the updated number of shares. That's pretty much all I'm tracking, and these annual dividends are based on the last distribution for QQQY. It's based on the last monthly distribution. My wife's account also went up. It's well, actually, it's the same. No, it went up. Sorry, it was 247. Now it's 251, approximately 251. So here's my wife account where JEPY is the core position. So how is the JEPY investment doing? It's doing fine and dandy. There is I put in $100,000, and there's a $100,000 investment in JPY, and now it is worth $112,000. So with the drip, it's going absolutely fine, of course. Then you have, of course, SFOL, RIV, and RA as well for the secondary positions. And that's pretty much it. So the value of my wife's RSP also went up here, 251K from last month's 247. So everything's going well. And remember, guys, the only thing I really track for the RSP, because nothing is coming out of the account yet, is really how much that of my own money that I put into the RSP over the years, which I haven't contributed for a while. As a non-resident, it's no longer worth it for me to contribute to the RSP. So 145,000 total contributions throughout my lifetime. Now the account is worth 258. For my wife, it's 165. And it's worth 251, and this is in Canadian dollars. So then I do have a small lira where I went all in on Bitcoin. I put 33,000. It was actually over 50,000, but Bitcoin went down a little bit. Now it's at 45,000. I'll just show it to you here, so you believe me 100%. Let's just refresh it. Let's see what it's at here. 46,200. So that is the value of my Maxi investment in Canadian dollars, 46,000. So I put in 33. Now it's worth 46. So I am definitely up 39%. Couldn't be happier. I mean, finally Bitcoin's exploding, and this might only be the beginning as well. So it's very, very exciting. So this is the status of my retirement accounts, guys. Very, very simple. Everything's on drip. All I do every month is update the number of shares, which is always going to go up every single month. Another thing that's helped is really the Canadian dollar is weakened even more. It's $1.36, the exchange rate. So all in all, you have the monthly income here in US dollars and Canadian dollars. And of course, remember, guys, it's all this is Canadian dollars, and the whole account's on drip. That's what I wanted to say. So that is the retirement accounts going completely fine. And now let's take a look at the main portfolio, everyone, where there has been a lot of updates. All right, everyone, it's time to look at the main portfolio, which is a combination of our two TFSAs and our joint cash account. You see that the total value is $879,000, which is, of course, this is going to be the number right here, right? The total value of the portfolio. And just a couple of reminders. Number one, we're going to look at it in Excel, break it down in Excel. If it's too small, you could download the Excel file on my website. Go to my website, passiveincomeinvesting.ca. Just click on free tools here, and the very first download, click on this red button here. You'll be able to download the Excel file, what we're looking at right here. Another reminder, in case you didn't know, I am on Blossom. You could track, or you could look at my portfolio value daily, both the main portfolio and the my RSP account is in here. I have over 28,000 followers, so make sure to join, and make sure to join by clicking on the link. It's just an app. It's a very cool app on your phone, mobile app. So if you go to any one of my videos, guys, if you go to any one of my video descriptions, here is the link. It's the 5th link here. So you just click on this link right here. It'll open up this page, and you just download the app using that link. So join Blossom today. It's a really cool app where you could share your own portfolio or follow other people's portfolio as well. So back to the portfolio unveil. Big changes, everyone, when it comes to the main portfolio. So let's get right into the changes that I've done. I've done two big changes. The first big thing I've done is that I did swap out my HDIV position. So HDIV is a fantastic fund. I had $60,000 in it. I swapped it out to buy half HYLD and half QQCL. So 30,000 in HYLD, 30,000 in QQCL. So first of all, why did I do this? Why did I sell my HDIV? Well, the number one reason is simply because I like HYLD better when it comes to, and they're both from Hamilton, of course. I like HYLD's composition better. I am going and leaning more towards US focused funds, US stocks. I think US economy is the best in the world. The stocks are the best in the world. So why not? HDIV is definitely more concentrated in Canada. That is really the biggest reason. There is some overlap between HYLD and HDIV. But HDIV does have a lot of Canadian financials, for example. But I have, other things to make up for the Canadian financials, bank, for example. So the main reason is simply because get higher yield, and I just like HYLD's composition more. And of course, I felt like, it's Hamilton, so I got to put at least half of it into HYLD. So that's why my HYLD position here jumped to 150,000. It is my biggest position in the portfolio with an average yield of 11.55%. My book price went down a little bit when I bought all that HYLD at 1361. So that is the main reason why I did that. Another thing is HDIV is not fully a full income oriented fund. There's some growth ETFs in there. I consider myself a pure income investor. I'm not saying it's bad to own some growth. Again, nothing wrong with HDIV. I just personally prefer HYLD's composition. I did put the other half in QQCL because I am trying to build my NASDAQ 100 position here, which is QQCL from Horizon. So another thing you have to remember, guys, is that as a non-resident of Canada, it's very important. I'm a non-resident of Canada. So having HDIV or getting eligible dividends versus capital gains versus a ROC makes no difference to me. It's all taxed the same. So I have no benefit of getting eligible dividends or eligible Canadian dividends. But maybe if you're a resident of Canada and you're in a lower tax bracket, HDIV might be very good for you in your cash account. For me, it makes no difference. So that's also another reason why it made sense for me to get rid of or swap out of HDIV. But again, HDIV is a fantastic ETF. But I simply prefer, the biggest reason is I just like HYLDs and the US composition more than Canada. Of course, if I would have waited a little bit more, hindsight is 2020, maybe I would have only done a $1,000 loss or something because HDIV has gone up. $2,200 loss on a $60,000 investment is really nothing at all. And remember, this is just the capital loss with the value, right? It doesn't include all the income. So if you include all the income I've got over the years with HDIV, obviously it's a humongous net positive. I probably got I don't know how many thousands and thousands of dollars of income with HDIV. So that is the first big move I made. I've been looking at that doing that for a while. I was just waiting for HDIV to go back up a bit. It did. Obviously, if I would have done it now, because the Canadian market is going up and up and up, I would have maybe taken a much smaller loss, but it's okay, not a problem. Second thing I did is I sold off my DGS position. So the main reason I did this is for income security. DGS has missed dividends this year, last year, I believe as well. And my main portfolio, guys, this is really designed for monthly income. So that is really the main reason I swapped out my DGS. Another reason why I did it now is because I found there was good opportunity with FTN and the YTSL, which is the purpose Tesla one. So also DGS was a small position. It was only 25K. Another reason, again, I am leaning more towards US exposure instead of Canadian exposure. DGS is all Canadian exposure, and I only have a $2,000 capital loss. Of course, if I would have waited a little bit, just like doing the HDIV swap, I would have maybe had a $1,000 capital loss or whatever. But this, of course, does not include the income, everyone. So all the income, I calculated it was about $6,000 or $7,000 that DGS has paid me since I've owned it over the years. So definitely a net positive for DGS as well. So DGS, the problem with, well, it's not really a problem, but DGS, the yield was really, really high. The yield is very, very high. Of course, when it pays out, right? That is the main reason I got rid of it. To be honest with you, or swapped out of it, it's because of, I want to establish ultimate income security of this portfolio, but I put it in stuff that is very high yield to try not to lose yield or income. And I was able to do that successfully. And the biggest swap I did was to put 10,000 in FTN, to make up for that. And FTN went up a little bit, has been going up slowly, and it's very, very, very high yield. So that obviously was a good decision. Bank, that's a no-brainer because DGS has a lot of Canadian financials, even FTN as well. Then I put a little bit in Happy Tea and YTSL, all very high yielding funds as well. So with that swap, I actually didn't lose any yield, which I found was absolutely incredible, or very little of it. So that is the major two swaps I did in March. So my portfolio is much, much leaner now. You could see that I have a total, I believe, 13 holdings, which is a lucky number in Italian culture, by the way. So I'm very happy with my portfolio. Streamlined out of HDIV. Of course, I could have kept it, but I just liked HYLD better. Increase my position in QQCL. I've said it before. I do want to get QQCL to 100,000 like USCL by the end of this year. And then DGS, it's because it's a small position. I wanted to increase my income security, and I like US exposure more than Canadian exposure, so I swapped out of that. So it's really looking good now because now I really have my established core, my 5 core positions, which are diversified and mostly US exposures. I do have my 2. I'm not going to abandon Canada. I did swap out of DGS and HDIV, but I don't intend to completely abandon Canada. These are my 2 Canadian positions, or my core positions, Bank and ENCL, which is top 10 Canadian financial stocks, top 10 Canadian energy stocks. And we know that financial and energy stocks, guys, makes up pretty much 50% of the Canadian economy. But the reason why I'm keeping these as my Canadian core positions is because they absolutely have phenomenal yields, right? So let me put it this way. If Bank and ENCL had 12 or 13% yields instead of 16, 17, I probably wouldn't have I probably wouldn't have them. I'd rather go with HYLD, USCL, QQCL, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you. So these are going to be my core Canadian positions going forward. I'm only going to be adding to them opportunistically going forward. RS you could consider a Canadian position, I guess. It's mostly real estate in Canada, but I consider RS my core real estate position, just like it says in the ledger here. So diversified core, primarily US exposures in gold, my core real estate position in blue, and my core Canadian positions in red here. And the rest are more my funner, alternative, higher risk positions as well, which you have 60K in FTN here, 30K in Happy Tea. I did add a lot to YTSL lately. You have it here at 22.5 or 22.6. I do expect that in the next portfolio Unveiled, it's going to be 25. I'm going to add a little bit more to the YTSL as well. And another thing and then this, of course, there's the crypto, right? BTCY and ETHY. So that is pretty much it. When it comes to the changes that I've made, you have everything that I bought here besides the swaps of HDIV and DGS, which accounts for most of what I bought. There has been on top of that, I bought another 5K of QQCL. That's why it says 35 here. So 30K came from the half of the 60K, right, from the HDIV swap. But I put in an extra 5K in QQCL. So now I have a 45,000, and I'm going to be investing in this one pretty much every month a little bit until it reaches $100,000. And I also bought a little bit more Ethereum, guys. I actually bought it on pretty much the worst day. I think I bought it at $5 or something, and now it's going back down, or it has gone back down. So I averaged down my Ethereum by 2 pennies. I think I had it at 5.24, 5.25, and now it's at 5.228. So that is pretty much everything that I did when it comes to the in February and March. So pretty big portfolio unveil, a lot leaner. I'm really liking my portfolio, and of course I'm running out of streamlining to do. I feel like maybe there's only at the moment, things can change, but I think there's only one other position I might streamline out of, and that's maybe FTN. Again, for income security, and it's kind of a duplicate as well. It's just financial stocks, but it's going to be hard to swap out of it now because I have 16% yield and it's been going up. So I don't think I would ever swap out of FTN unless I break even on it. It's almost at $8 and I have it at $9.35. So I'm just compared to DGS, however, I think it definitely has more income security because it's around $18 unit now, where DGS is under 16 still. But DGS is doing well now. It's actually starting to go back up, and I think it will continue to continue to rise with the Canadian stock market, right? Same thing for FTN. I have a strong suspicion that it's going to start, the financial stocks are going to explode and rates start getting cut, which who knows when that's going to be. So I'm very happy with my portfolio. I consider it almost complete or almost perfect, or pretty much perfect now, except for maybe FTN. That's the only thing I could see myself getting rid of. But I really like my core positions here. They're mostly US focused, diversified. They all use leverage as well. So it's absolutely fantastic. So when it comes to any news or anything like that this month, there isn't. We've already discussed the HYLD and HDIV distribution increase in the last portfolio unveiled. There's nothing more to say on the other core positions here, just chugging along. RS, I'm thinking of maybe buying more in April because it's right now, if I would tell you the positions I'm down on the most, it would be RS. I'm down 16% on it when it comes to the capital. You see my book cost is 15. So maybe I could buy some more RS next month. I think real estate is still a good time to buy it. FTN2, maybe if it stays under $8 or FTN is under $8 or about $8, I'll maybe buy $5,000 more of FTN. I'll see. Definitely gonna want to add a 2,500 to YTSL to make this 25,000. Although, so let's talk about the changes on the funds. Pretty much all in this hemisphere here. So we had a YTSL lowered its distribution from 40 cents to 30 cents. This I definitely saw that coming because Tesla crashed. So YTSL went down significantly as well. So, but it's I'm okay with it. It makes sense to me. It's still very, very, very high yield. It's over 20% yield, even with the distribution reduction from last month. And remember, if Tesla starts going up again, they'll probably raise the distribution again. The reason why I really love YTSL, to be honest with you, is because it uses 25% leverage. So, but it is only one stock, right? It is Tesla only. I consider these three positions, well, actually, maybe not even the Bitcoin one, but this one, the Tesla one, and Ethereum, probably the highest risk positions I have. So, this one is still one stock. So it's never going to be a major position. It's always going to be small. Right now it's at only 2.47%. It'll be a little bit higher when I add another 2,500, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, it's unfortunate, right? I lost some yield and some income with YTSL, but Purpose is responsible. They raise it when they can and they reduce it when they have to. But still, hey, 21% yield, guys. I'm not going to complain, and it'll probably be higher when I average it down when I add the next 2,500. The great news is that both BTCY and ETHY, no surprise, had a really nice distribution increases. Not a surprise, right? The value goes up, the volatility has gone up as well. So I'm finally past 10% yield on BTCY, and I'm in the green as well. My average price is $5.84. It's over $6. So I'll never complain getting over 10%, almost 11% off Bitcoin here. But remember, guys, I do have a lot of Bitcoin in my RSPs, right? I have my Lyra is all maxi, and I do have a nice chunk of maxi in my RSP. So this is why I decided to go with or put an extra 5K or almost 5K in the Ethereum. I wanted to try to average it down a little bit more before the rally continued, but I think I invested in it on the wrong day, and then it started going down. So my average price on the Ethereum is $5.23. Now it's in the $4 mark. So maybe I'll add another 5K to ETHY because remember, there's still the Bitcoin halving, and the other major cryptos or Ethereum, I feel kind of follows Bitcoin, but maybe they'll separate. I don't really know, but again, I'm comfortable in doing that. We'll see what happens. But eventually, maybe I'm also thinking of maybe getting ETHY to 50, and then when I break even on it, maybe reducing it by 10,000 and putting it into BTCY, because I am more comfortable with Bitcoin than Ethereum, really. But we'll see what happens. But together, they still make up less than 10% of my portfolio, 9.37%. So yeah, definitely welcome news, right? I have higher yield on both now, over almost 11% on the Bitcoin, 8.72 on the Ethereum, and hey, there could be more increases later on. Hopefully, Ethereum starts recovering as well, because it's been taking quite a big hit in the last couple of days. So that is it for my portfolio, guys. I'm out of breath. So the total value is 879. Total book cost, or how much I invested, is 914. Look how small the book cost versus current value is right now. Only less than 4% difference. It was just absolutely incredible. But the crazy news is that I'm very close to hitting $10,000 income a month from my main portfolio. I'm super excited about that. My overall yield now is just under 13%, which is really cool. Annual gross income. This is all Canadian dollars, by the way. Monthly gross income. 25% withholding tax. This, of course, comes from the because I'm a non-resident and only impacts the the joint cash account. Only the cash account, not the TFSA. So here's the monthly net after the 1800 is reduced from 97.94. And by the way, I got some really good, exciting news when it comes to the 25% withholding tax on all my dividends in my joint cash account. But I'm not going to share the news with you. I'll probably make a video on this, but I'm not going to do it until I'm 100% sure. So more to come on that. And this is just a breakdown. You can see how much of this 79.93, that's net, how much comes from the TFSA and how much comes from the joint cash account. This is net. All right. And by the way, if I get the questions all the time, what do you have in your TFSAs versus your joint cash account? If you unhide these columns, everyone, you could actually see the total shares and the amount that are in the TFSA versus the cash account or the margin. So you could take a look at that as well. You could just need to unhide those columns. And by the way, I finally did that video I've been promising you where I go over my portfolio management, or the video is going to be called portfolio management, but I'm going to go over all the top FAQs that I get when it comes to my portfolio. I'll go over what I do for tracking, my strategy, taxes, everything that has to do with my portfolio and my portfolio management. I will go over it in that video, and it's going to come out before the next portfolio unveil for sure. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, really exciting, getting close to that $10,000 mark. A couple of months, I'll probably hit that. I have no doubt. So if we look at the annual summary so far, 2024, I did update it. Of course, now the capital gain. This is just the buying and selling on the capital, guys, right? It's not the net profits or anything like that. Remember, I'll explain this too, by the way. I'll explain everything that I track, what all this stuff means in that video. But basically, the capital gains, it's basically 2,000 plus 2247 minus 1610, which I did a capital gain by selling call, and you get the minus 2637. But first 3 months of the year, I've made almost $28,000 in income. So of course, I'm always going to be in the profit anyway. So every month I will update these numbers, and it's just going to grow from there. So pretty good. I feel really comfortable with this portfolio. I was thinking about the DGS and HDIF swap for a while now. Of course, if you're a PII Inner Circle member, guys, you would have already known this quite a while ago. Remember that as a PII Inner Circle member, and by the way, to join, just click on this little join button right here. And if you want more details on the program, you could open any video description of any of my videos and click on this video here. It will explain to you the Inner Circle membership in detail. But if you join, it's only $2.99 Canadian a month. It's a joke. You're an insider. So basically, all the moves that I do and what I buy as live that day, as well as a bunch of other perks like a weekly opportunity report, exclusive content, etc., etc. I strongly suggest if you want to be an income investor and you really follow my channel and everything, I suggest you become a member, guys. It's really cheap, and you could just try it out for a month or two, and worst comes to worst, you could just cancel. It's only $3. It's not really a big deal. So that's it in terms of the portfolio. Let me know what you think of the moves I did. The totals are here, everyone. So of course, total income I received, total capital gains realized, total profit that I realized since the beginning, $436,000. And let's say I sell everything off tomorrow. This is what this number represents. It's all the realized profit plus the current value of my portfolio, which is this number here. I would make 1.3 million total, which would be a 43% lifetime total return. So again, stay tuned for that video where I explain all this sheet and all the tracking, all my portfolio management, my monthly routine as well in detail. It's going to come out within the next month, and we're going to do this all over again next month. And this is a journey, right? It's my own journey, and I'm sharing it with you guys every single month. So stay tuned next month for the next portfolio unveil. See you next time. Hey, don't go yet. A few reminders before you leave. Did you know that I launched a YouTube loyalty membership program where for only $3 a month, you could become a PII Inner Circle member where you will gain access to exclusive content, exclusive videos and live streams, as well as other perks and benefits, including a really cool weekly opportunity report. That's right. If you're interested, just click on the little join button next to the subscribe button to see what it's all about. Also, make sure to follow me on Blossom and download Blossom. It's a social investing app, which is really cool. You could share your portfolio, follow other people's portfolios, including my own. My username is Adrian_PII. So download it with the referral link below. Not only is it free, but you could actually earn cash by taking these really small, quick 1-minute courses. Really awesome. It's a no-brainer. Also, make sure to visit our website, passiveincomeinvesting.ca. That's where you could book a one-on-one private coaching session with yours truly, with myself, where you could ask me all the questions you want. All the information and booking information is on the website. Make sure to check out that video on the homepage there to see how to book a one-on-one properly. Also on my website, you could purchase my digital product, which I'm very proud of, the ultimate DIY investing package. This is a reference tool or a companion tool that will help you build your own portfolio. So it has lists of funds, it has sample portfolios, and it covers both the Canadian and US stock markets. And the good news is you'll only ever have to buy it once because it comes with free lifetime updates. And my plan is really to update the version every single year. So make sure to pick it up. Also, I have Questrade and Passive referral links below. So Questrade is the broker that I personally use, and Passive is the broker companion tool or assistant that I use. Really cool program, really cool software. So I have referral links for both of those. Questrade, $50 of free trades. And Passive, I have half off for the elite membership. If you're interested in the elite membership, and even if you want to start out with the free membership and upgrade to the elite afterwards, use my referral code so you could still get that 50% off. And don't forget that the elite membership of Passive is 100% free if you use Questrade. For social media, we have a very successful and big Facebook group, private Facebook group with over 14,000 members where we all try to help each other out. So make sure to join that group. Information is below. We also have Instagram where you could follow us or more personal stuff when it comes to our life here in Panama. And there's LinkedIn as well. So as usual, everyone, how do I leave you? Continue to stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay passive. See you next time.